Right. We're going to bring in Joel Tobeck now. A massive Prince fan. A massive Prince fan. And one of the best actors we have ever produced in this country. He'll be all modest and go, oh, go on with you. But it's the truth. Okay. Sorry. Oh, that was a terrible fade. Sorry, Prince. Okay.
Hey.
Welcome, Joel.
Welcome. Thank you. How are you?
I'm good. Thanks for doing this. We haven't caught up in ages. Not that we used to hang out for barbecues or anything, but when was the last time we saw each other?
I was up at the station 92.2 in Hamilton. Remember, I came up for that week and you very kindly put me on air with the lovely, what's her name?
Who was it?
Megan.
Yes, God, that was years ago though, wasn't it?
2014 or something. Yeah, you're awesome. You swamped me on this poor woman and said, "This is Joel. He wants to get back into radio or something." And she was like, "Yep, hi." But she was awesome. She looked after me for a whole week. I sat with her on her mid-morning show. So yeah, that's the last time I saw you.
And we message each other every now and then over rugby, of course, because the Chiefs are the Chiefs are your team, aren't they? Chiefs and maybe Blues.
But Chiefs, because I live here now, and you cannot not support the Chiefs when you live in Waikato.
That's right. That's exactly right.
But I still love the Blues. I was thinking of going up on Saturday actually for the Mitre 10 Cup final, Auckland, Tasman. So
you're still in Cambridge?
Yeah.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah.
So tell me, how was the lockdown? You've got to ask people that question. How was that for you? What happened?
Oh, it was great. All the kids were home, and so everybody was home. And luckily, our place is big enough that we can accommodate 5-6 people. So I spent. I did a lot of chores around the house. I built a voiceover studio downstairs and built a water tank. Yeah, because I do a lot of voiceovers, and nowadays, of course, in the COVID era, we're doing a lot of Source Connect and online voiceovers. So I had to I had a room. I've always had a little room down there, which is literally an old freezer room. So it's very tiny, which is perfect. So I just padded it out and put doors on, and I sealed off downstairs. And a friend of mine who's a builder, him and I did it. So,
well, you're a builder as well.
You've thrown the word around.
Don't be modest.
My mate, can I swear?
Yeah, go on.
My mate, I say to my friend, look, I'm a shit kicker, right? That's my official term. So I can hammer in a nail, sure.
Tell me this, and we're not going to have a debate about how good you are as an actor, because you're a bloody good actor, and I know that you're a modest guy, you always have been. But tell me where we are these days, even before COVID. Like, can someone like you make a good living with acting in New Zealand, or do you need to go to other markets like Australia and so forth?
It's an interesting question, because every actor will tell you they have periods where they're employed all the time, and then periods when they can't even get hit by a car. So, which is a term I learned in America. My roommate Blaine said, "See that guy right there? He was a big star in the '80s, and now he can't even get hit by a car." So I love saying that.
Yeah, that's good.
So actors will. I've had a great run for the last 2 or 3 years, and I'm very grateful. But I've had to spread my wings, not just because I need to, because I'm always working here and I'm job. They're not every job is going to hire me. I also was ambitious enough that I wanted to get overseas. So pre-COVID, I was working here in Australia a lot. I did a bit of time in America and worked over there. And I was sort of making plans to get back into the American swing of things just before we all had to lock down. Excuse me, but I really miss Australia. I love working in Australia. I've worked on some great stuff over there with great people. I really miss it. So I'm hopefully that will come again. But at the moment, New Zealand's been very good to me.
So I mean, I was looking through your resume, and I was like, I don't think we'll even run through it. You've done a hell of a lot of work. Is there some stuff, and great work too, I might add. Is there, are there some roles that you're just really, that you could single out that you're really proud of? And we'll get to Black Hands shortly, because I think that's just pretty amazing. But like in America and Australia, that you go, hey, I'm pretty proud of that.
Yeah, listen, I sort of clock my career over the years, and we all have different phases through our career, as you would know, and personal life. And so each sort of phase represents a time in my life. And so the last few years for me have been great, and I've been very proud of my work and how I've grown as a person and a parent. And, I don't drink anymore, and I've become healthier, and I look after myself, and I've become a bit more conscious about the world. So the last couple of years, I've been very proud of my work, and in particular, Black Hands, One Lane Bridge,
Yes.
And all the stuff I do in Oz. And I find myself working with people I grew up watching over there, or big names, and I'm like, God, I'm working with you. And I remember I shot a series called Secret City 2 over there, and one day we were shooting at the Australian Parliament, and I was standing at the podium because I was playing a politician, where the Prime Minister has given speeches for the last 50 years. And I'm going, I get to do this, So I'm always proud of. I did a theatre show, Mr. Burns, a couple of years ago, and I was very proud of that. It's the first time on stage in 15 years, and Rocky Horror Show. Every phase of my life, I'm proud of. And it's to some degree.
Good on you.
But Twinkie.
No, I think that's an honest answer. It's really good.
Yeah.
So what? I don't know. Is it Miranda Harcourt?
Yeah.
I don't know Miranda, but she's a Facebook pal, and so I sent her a message saying, I'm interviewing Joel, and I want to sort of throw him at the start by asking him a really technical question in regards to acting, for him to go, oh my God, what the hell is Shaun asking something like that?
Yeah.
And she said to me, ask him what it's like walking down the street with everybody thinking he's Robin Bain. And she said, and that is an actor's question. So what is it? It's Robin Bain, isn't it? The father?
Yep.
Yeah. So what is that? Do you get a lot of that? Do you get comments? Because actually right now, you don't look anything like the guy that you've played.
No.
They're completely different.
And I wondered at the time if I would get, hey, did you do it? Or, hey, it's you.
Yeah.
He's alive, whatever. But I went out tonight to the warehouse to buy my son some new school shoes, and I thought, I haven't been in here since it's been on air, so you never know. But no one. I mean, I look different, as you say.
Yeah.
And, Kiwis are pretty used to seeing guys on TV walking around, and they're not like in the States where they're going to call out, hey, man, can I have an autograph? Doesn't really happen.
I always tell people this story of Beaver in walking down Victoria Street. Great guy, by the way. I've done a little bit of work with him in the past. This was sort of after the Rugby World Cup, a few months after.
Yes.
And it had a couple, and he wasn't, making a dick of himself or anything. He was just walking down. And Victoria Street was packed, and everybody was just walking past him going, g'day, Beef. How are you? It's like, Beaver. It's no like, hey, how are you? What's going on? Everybody is just like, it's
listen, I live in Cambridge, small town, and everyone knows me now, and we've been here a few years, and I get hi, and how are you? And, what are you up to at the moment, which is nice. Weirdly, when I did Shortland Street for a year, I got more attention than I've ever got in my life.
That's funny. So, tell us, mere mortals that have nothing to do with acting, what goes into preparing for a role like that role that you've got in Black Hands? Because it's really weird from someone that has nothing to do with acting. I've been chatting to mates about it. I'm going, shit, he's good in that, isn't he? He's he's bloody good. And everyone's going, yeah, isn't he good? And a mate of mine said, the thing is with your performance, it's like you feel like you have different emotions towards that character. Sometimes you feel really sorry for him. Sometimes you're a bit pissed off with him. Sometimes yeah, you bring out all the emotions. And I mean, you can do that with script, you can do that with direction, I'm sure. But as far as acting goes, you sort of go, wow. I mean, that's one hell of a performance. So what goes into that? Can you talk me through the journey of getting to that performance?
I was shooting the first series of One Lane Bridge, and my agent called and said they're making the David Bain family drama, the Bain family drama. Would you like to audition? Sure. I thought I'm way too young, but
yeah,
I did my audition, and I actually did it in my hotel room. My wife and family had just left that morning back to Cambridge. And before she left, I said to Yvette, would you mind just saying all the off lines in this audition? I'll record it on my decent, I've got a Sennheiser mic, very professional mic. Just record them all and I'll deal with it later. So what I did, I set up my mic, my camera, me sitting at the table doing a scene. The scene was sitting at a table. So I set it all up, wrote all the off lines on a bit of cardboard and pasted them up against the camera, delivered my performance, and then put in the off lines afterwards. So I had to sort of think about how long each line between my line was, sort of to leave enough gap. It was great. A couple of times it didn't really work, but so it's a long story. But I took a photo. There's a famous photo of Robin Bain where he's just looking sideways into the lens, and that's all I needed really. And I guess I formed a picture of who this person was from that photo. And then the rest of it, I just leave up to whatever comes in. And I've always sort of done that. I've never really prepared.
Oh, really?
No. I just trust and I try and I teach a bit, and I try and get my students to do this, is trust that instinct that comes in, that natural, I'm going to try this, I'm going to try this and try this. And then, of course, when you're doing the job, it's a collaborative thing, it's your instincts and your interpretation, and then the director jumps on board. And luckily David Stubbs, our great director, was so open to us just writing with what we thought was right for the story, and we walked together side by side, hand in hand, all of us as the cast and the crew, and it all becomes one sort of big evolving organic process. And that's how I like to work. I don't ask me about technique, or I don't know what that means. Technique is what cricket players have.
Yeah.
Actors, I believe, it's all about organic and instincts and trusting that thing that makes you go, why is this person alive? And I haven't always got it right. There are some directors who have said, no, that's not right, I don't want you to do that. And that's fine, then you change it. But luckily for me, touching wood, most of the time my career has been, my instincts are right, and we shape and we mold and we chip away and we add more as we go.
Have you directed much TV yourself? Have you delved
None.
Have you delved into that? Is that somewhere that you like to hear?
I'd love to, yeah, because I love working with actors. I'm not particularly technical and shots and stuff. I'm a bit like, but I love teaching, and I teach at sometimes the actors program and the actors lab, and I love just getting these people who generally are just starting out. Trust that thing, man. Trust that, and trust that your thing. Trust your interpretation. And that's what Stuart Deviney, who was a great New Zealand actor, told us years and years ago. It's your interpretation. How do you interpret this scene? And all the, and it's not easy, because a lot of people were so concerned about doing the right thing. And I hate that. I don't worry about doing the right thing. Just do your thing, and then we'll work with it.
And so, how long did you shoot Black Hands for? How long does that take to do a series like that?
Well, it would have been 3 or 4 months, but we had a lockdown of 7 weeks. So we finished up in March, and then we went back into July to do another month. So it was 3 or 4 months.
I think you're the standout performance in the whole thing. But are there any other actors in there that you thought did particularly well, that you went, wow, that was, and I know that's kind of mean because everybody does well, but is there anything else in that series that you go, wow, that was pretty damn good?
I think all the core cast are great. And in fact, I was talking to Leanne Gordon the other day, and she's amazing. I think she's awesome in this role. I love working with her. But then we were talking about how great the kids were, and there's always something that in their stories they've done, and I've just gone, God, that was good. That was so good, And I also want to take a big shout out to all the support cast we had, because they've done some great stuff. Even the guy who was playing the dairy owner for one episode, he just had the right tone. He fit into the story. It was just awesome, Everybody's done a great job. I think it was helped by a great crew we had, and Dave Garbutt, our DOP, and our great art department, and our makeup department. It was all the pieces fell into place on this one. And
tell us about
Stubbs.
Sorry, what's that?
Our great director, David Stubbs, who, as I said before, just lets you run with your thing.
Hey, so tell us about your love for music, because that goes back a long way. You've been involved in a few bands, and explain that side of Joel.
It's I would say I probably, if you asked me what my passion was, it would be music.
Yes.
I've always loved guitar. I've been playing guitar since I was a teenager, and I particularly, we've talked about before, I'm a huge Prince fan, and I've fallen in love in the last few years with his funk playing from back in the day, and then I get drawn into the other funk players, and then I'm now into a big R&B phase, and all those players on Motown, and all the players that played with the Impressions, and Mavis Staples, and all those guys, and Don Covey. I mean, God, I just love all that stuff, and Hendrix, of course. So I love all sorts of music, and I go through phases of. I'll be in the Rolling Stones phase for a month, and then I'll be into Tuck and Paddy for a month, and then I just whatever turns me on, I'll get obsessed about it, and that's all I think about, really.
What other projects have you got sort of in the pipeline that you can talk about, or is it all? It's usually hush all these things, isn't it?
No, I'm about to start another series of One Lane Bridge in February.
Oh, cool, great.
So that's it for the moment.
Okay. One more question. A very cliched question. So, actors that let's say international actors. Let's leave the Kiwis out for now. International actors that have had a massive influence on you that you went, oh my God, that's why I want to act. I want to be like that.
Well, when I was younger and I had those people that I looked up to and said, oh God, I want to be like that, they were all working at the Mercury Theatre in Auckland.
Oh, well, hey, cool answer. That's great.
That's where I started.
Yeah.
And that's where I grew up from a young age in that theatre until it closed in 1992, watching people like George Henardi, Grant Bridger, Miranda was there too. She was amazing. And all those actors that went through there, because I saw a show a night for 4 nights a week for years, because I was an usher. So I'd see all these shows over and over again. And while sometimes I didn't want to see the Crucible again for the 3rd time that week, it was still would go into my body. And I get to hang out with these people afterwards in the bars and at parties. So it was all osmosis. So I kind of, because I lived and breathed it, it was just a great education for me. So all those actors that went through that place, my mum was there for a while too.
And she was a brilliant actor. God,
yeah. And Michael Hurst, Jennifer Ward-Leland, and just everybody. Ross Duncan, Lee Grant, all these great names of.
Well, that was the world's stupidest question. Please give me your favourite actor. No. Don't mention any Kiwis.
Yeah. Well, and now, of course, I watch other actors, Kiwis and Australians and Americans and English, and I go, oh my God, I love this guy. He's just, Benicio del Toro is one of those people. Hugo Weaving, I just adore. As an actor, he just goes there, and I love seeing him get raw. And and I've been lucky enough to have worked with him a couple of times, and he's just so lovely, and you just fall in love with him.
You're a great man. Thank you so much for being so generous with your time this evening. Now, I am just going to wrap up.
Yeah,
I have been working on this little trick where I predict a number that you're going to say, and I do it by putting little wee signals throughout the course of the interview, which you
Yeah.
probably wouldn't have picked up. And so I'm going to see if this works.
Okay.
Okay. So I want you to select a number between 800 and 900. Any number.
Tell you?
Sorry? And tell me.
Tell you now?
I'm going to keep my hands up here.
Yep.
800 and 900.
Okay, ready?
Yep.
847.
Now there's 100 numbers there.
Yeah.
So the number again?
847. No.
Thank you so much for your time. You're a wonderful man. I really appreciate your time.
Okay, bro.
Have a good night. Thanks, brother.